So we're here at the California State Democratic Convention. We spoke to a few candidates about getting money out of politics. Are you, as president, going to support a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics?
Yes, I already support that constitutional amendment and would continue to support that as president.
And how would you get there? Like, what would it be legislatively? Would it be through the state conventions? What's your way of doing it?
I think we have to look at what's the most viable path to get there. But each of those options that you mentioned all require the American people and voters in this country to get informed, get involved, and to vote to make that change.
Is that something people are talking about as you campaign?
I think it's something that's in a lot of people's minds as they see more and more the corrupting influence of big special interest money in Washington and in our politics, where our government is no longer of by and for the people, it's of by and for those corporate greedy interests.
Congressman, thanks. Governor, quickly, do you support a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics?
Yeah, if there's a way to do it, for sure.
And do you think that would be something you could pursue to get private dollars out of politics?
Well, again, that's a longer conversation than just walking through a thing, but certainly there is too much money from self-interest in politics.
Yes, I want two constitutional amendments. I want to say that money is not speech and to pass the Equal Rights Amendment. I think we could do that in my presidency. I also want to challenge the country to go to publicly financed campaigns and believe that we can do that in our lifetime. Someone like me is not supposed to be in Congress. I wasn't related to anyone in politics. My parents didn't come from any money. Good government reforms of independent redistricting and a top 2 primary gave me a chance. But too many voices are being silenced. The only way we're going to get more regular people in Congress is to get the money and the dirty maps out.
And would you get private money out completely?
I would have lower contributions with publicly financed matching dollars.
Constitutional amendment to get money out of politics. Is that something you would back?
It's certainly something I would consider. Now, there's some things, a lot of things we can do, I believe, even short of that. This idea of democracy vouchers is, I think, now is happening in Seattle. I'm very enamored with this idea because I think it can empower every individual to participate. And I think I believe will have wide acceptance to the American people. You can do that without a constitutional amendment, which, as you know, is very difficult. And you can trust that Republicans are not going to help because they're the party of oil and gas money. And they don't like the idea that I would take $27 billion away from the subsidies from oil and gas money. So I think that there's a lot of things we can do even before we would consider that.
Are you in favor of a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics?
Yes, of course I am. But I think the first thing we can do, if, we have to look at getting the Senate as big a deal as getting the White House. If I'm president and there's a Democratic Senate, first thing I do is I submit legislation that will establish public funding for federal campaigns. So it can be legislating public funding for federal campaigns, or it can be a constitutional amendment. One way or the other, we need to deal with the fact that the undue influence of dark money, which is by definition undue influence, on our politics is the cancer underlying all the other cancers.
So while there is clear consensus in terms of passion from these candidates that we've met here at the convention, when it comes to getting money out of politics, there is a little bit of a lack of detail. It's still something that people are talking about, and the more we talk about it, the better off it is. I'm Michael Shure for the Young Turks here in San Francisco at the California Democratic State Convention.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.